Welcome everyone, I'm Danijel Zambo, and today I'm doing part 1 of Deku was Mash from Mashle Magic Muscle. Of course, sorry if my reading of these scripts are a bit off, just that once again, these are scripts from like a year or two ago. So that's why the reading of them feels a bit off. Now for just some quick background for this version of My Hero World. In this version of My Hero, Quirkus people would only take up 2% of the world's population. This lack of Quirkus people would cause society to massively discriminate against Quirkus people, seeing them as inferior beings more than in canon. In fact, the world actually discriminates against Quirkus people so much that keeping, hiding, or even helping one can cause you to be sentenced for life in prison, being labelled as a villains by the heroes whose job are to capture Quirkus people and deal justice to villains. As for what actually happens to Quirkus people was kept a secret by the world leaders, but the common thought being that they're put in prisons or executed. Also in this version, it is possible to tell if somebody's Quirkless from birth. As you would see in Midoriya holding her newborn baby, Hisashi by her side, as the doctor would be sitting in front of the couple with a sad face. "Hey Anna Stark, what's my little Izuku like?" said Hisashi, now holding the newborn.
"That would be the thing, Hisashi. I'm sorry to tell you this, but young Izuku is Quirkless."
Hearing this, the room would go silent, until a thud, as Hisashi would drop the young Izuku on the floor. "What?" Hisashi would say, standing up. "Izuku!" screamed Inko, dashing to her child's side, picking him up with tears in her eyes. "Hisashi, what the—" As Inko would be kicked in the face by Hisashi, as Hisashi would sit back down. "Shut up," he said. "Now, Doctor, we're taking that we have to either give Izuku to the government and never see him again, or go to prison for trying to keep a Quirkus person, child or not."
"Yes, that is true. And don't worry, we'll make it painless."
Then we'll take the first option.
"Very well."
"Wait, Hisashi, what are you—" "Shut up!" Hisashi shouted, kicking Inko over and over, who'd be holding Izuku tightly in her chest. "This is your fault, isn't it, you cheater? There's no way in hell my genetics can cause the creation of one of those freaks." As eventually Hisashi would stop and thrust the crying Izuku out of the arms of his crying mother. "Here," he said, tossing Izuku to the doctor. "Oh, and sorry for making such an act in your office."
"No, it's fine. I've seen these scenes many times,"
replied the doctor, taking Izuku.
"Also, you don't mind me prying, but what are you going to do with her?"
he said, looking down on the bloody and bruised Inko on the floor. "Oh, I know."
"I see. Well, I'll be off then. Good day."
As the doctor would leave Izuku in hand, some time later we would see Hisashi dragging Inko through the streets at night, as Hisashi would throw her into a nearby alleyway. "Here," he said, throwing 100,000 yen at her. "That should be enough to keep you going for some time." As he said this, he would spit on her. "You piece of trash." As Hisashi would walk off, leaving Inko alone. Skip some time as it would start to rain, as Inko, now slightly recovered, would be limping through the streets, as she would hear a high-pitched sound. "Izuku!" she screamed, rushing to where she heard the sound. As she arrived, she would see a baby with a straight black line across its left cheek, in a basket wrapped in blankets, in the pavement, crying. "Oh, right, Izuku's dead," Inko said, turning around about to leave. This would be until the child would say, "Ma!" In this, Inko would have her motherly instincts kick in, as she would instantly embrace the baby as she would start to apologise. I'm so sorry," she said to the baby, now had stopped crying. "You're like me, aren't you, Izuku?" As it would cut 15 years later, it would open up in the middle of the forest. A loud pumping sound would be heard, as you would see a deer sweating bullets, paralysed from fear. As you would see a boy with smooth black hair, sort of like a mushroom, but not really. As the boy would be lifting weights, a lot of weights. as you would have 5,100-ton weights on both hands, curling them at super speed. As he would do this for half an hour till he would put down the weights and do 100,000 push-ups in 5 seconds, 100,000 sit-ups again in 5 seconds, and once again 100,000 squats again in 5 seconds. As the boy would walk over to a large tree and lift it out of the ground, roots still attached. As he would throw the tree at neck-breaking speeds, only for him to catch it at the end of the forest, throw it again to the next side of the forest, and catch it again. As this would continue till the boy would, instead of catching the tree, he would punch it mid-air, splitting the wood in half. "Workout accomplished," said the boy, putting his hand on his shirt and taking out a cream puff, as he would eat it whilst walking to an old stone and wooden house in the middle of the forest, with the chimney smoke coming out of it, with no access of electricity. As the boy walked up to the door, "It's a push or pull," as he said. He would try to push the door, instantly ripping the door off its hinges. As behind the door would be a short lady with dark green hair and green eyes. "Hi there, Ma." As the lady would take in a deep breath. "What did you do this time? This is the 5th time this week. What are you doing? This is the 5th time this week," the lady screamed. "Sorry, Ma," the boy said, bowing. "Guess you didn't mean to do it," said the boy's mother. "I'm really sorry for yelling at you, Izuku." "Thanks, Ma," said Izuku. As he said this, suddenly a bell would go off in the house. "Oh, look at the time," said Uncle, as the pair would walk into a room with a shrine on it. As on the shrine, words would be on it, reading, "In memory of Izuku Midoriya, son of Hisashi and Inko Midoriya." Though the words Hisashi and Midoriya would have a line for it, as the pair would get on their knees as they would pray. "I'm sorry for not being a mother to you," thought Inko, as we would see into Izuku's mind. "Sup, bro? I hope you had a wonderful time in the afterlife, even though I never met you. Also, once again, I swear I'll protect Mother in your name." Rest in peace," said the two, standing up and walking out of the room. As it kept some time, Izuku would be reading a book and eating a massive basket of cream puffs, as long as Inko stepped out to go to work. As Inko would have left a single order, "Don't go to the town or city." As Izuku would accidentally knock over a pile of papers. "Oh no," said Izuku, with no real expression. As Izuku would be putting the papers back into a pile, one would fall off. As he would pick it up, he would see that it was a poster for a cream puff sale of 75% off. As Izuku would stare at the poster for 5 minutes, his stomach rumbling, till he would come to a conclusion. "Sorry, Ma, tummy first." Skip to Izuku walking through a mall, wearing a hoodie and a face mask, looking for the cream puff store. As a few people would try not to stare at Izuku due to how he looks like trouble. This would continue till Izuku would find himself in front of the counter of a cream puff store. "I'm here for the 75% off deal." "Sure." The cashier would give Izuku a bag of cream puffs. "That'll be 300 yen. "Sorry, no money," said Izuku, already eating one of the cream puffs. "Then give it back then," the cashier shouted. "Here." As Izuku would pass the cashier one of the cream puffs, which would have a bite taken out of it, before he would run cream puffs in hand. "What?" said the cashier, stunned. And you would skip as Izuku would have run to the other side of town. "Phew," said Izuku, now eating another cream puff. Though as he walked, he would bump into a police officer, setting his cream puff all over the officer. "Hey, you I am," said the officer. "Hey, you look like trouble. Show your face." As the officer would grab Izuku's mask and pull it off, breaking it, feeling Izuku's face, but most importantly, the mark on his left cheek. As the officer would be frozen by fear for a minute. A marker!" he screamed, pointing at Izuku's face. As everyone in the mall that heard this would scream and run. As Izuku would grab the top right of the officer's uniform and pull it down, ripping off the front. "That was from my mask. Anyways, where did everyone go?" However, Izuku would be cut off by himself dodging a bullet. "Oh, you dodged?" said a voice. "So you marked us still alive," said another. After all these years, you still stay causing trouble for everyone. As the voices would be revealed to be the heroes, Snipe, Midnight, and Eraserhead. As Eraserhead would activate his quirk, whilst Midnight would release her mist. "Hey, I can't see him, idiot," said Eraserhead. As Izuku would blow away the mist, only to be met by a barrage of bullets. "That's no good," he said, catching the bullets and dropping them. "What?" Snipe said. "You know, it's really irresponsible to be firing bullets around this area." "Don't underestimate him. Remember, he's marked," said Eraserhead, throwing his capture scarf out. "We know," said both Midnight and Snipe. As both mist and bullets would be fired by the two, only for Izuku to blow away the mist and bullets with his breath. This would be until he was wrapped up by Eraserhead's scarf, only for Izuku to grab the cloth and swing it around, Eraserhead at the end, and would swing Eraserhead into both Snipe and Midnight, knocking the pair out. As Eraserhead, wounded, would leap up, looking around for the marked. However, Izuku would be gone. "Where did he go?" Eraserhead said, jumping onto the roof of the mall. Still some time as Izuku would be entering his house, only be met by his mother. "Explain yourself," said Inko. There was a cream puff sale. "So you risk people seeing that you're quirkless?" Inko said, shadows covering her eyes. "And discovering your mark?" "Well, don't worry. Other than a few heroes and an officer, nobody saw me." Well, that's a... Wait, what? As Inko would be cuffed by a knock at the door. A silence would plague the room. "Izuku, did the heroes attack you? And see your mark?" "Yeah," said Izuku, looking down. "Run," said Inko. "What?" "Run. There's probably a hero behind that door." As there would be more knocking. "But I said run!" Izuku would jump out of the chimney into the forest. At the same time, Inko would take a deep breath and open the door. "Morning, ma'am," Eraserhead said. "Oh, as Eraserhead would kick Inko into a wall. "I assume you know I am here." "The boy," Inko said. "Bingo," Eraserhead replied, walking closer to Inko. "I presume you know what that boy is?" "Unmarked?" "Correct, again," as Eraserhead would grab Inko's hair. "And you should know what the marked have done to humanity. What happens if a marked is captured, let alone those that are actively involved with them?" Yeah, Inko replied, bleeding from her forehead now. "Well then you should be prepared for what's next." "No." "I'll have to teach you then." So Eraserhead would be cut off by a fist punching him in the face, sending the probe through the open door and multiple trees. "Sorry, Ma, I disobeyed you." "Izuku!" As the culprit of the fist would be revealed to be Izuku. "So you're throwing your shoulder up." As Eraserhead would walk back through the door, half of his face mostly covered in blood, his goggles shattered. "So you're a physical marker then?" "I have no idea what you're talking about," replied Izuku. "I only came here to save Ma, but since you're here, I might as well send you to hell." "Oh really? Then come at me," replied Eraserhead, his eyes glowing red, as the two would engage in combat. As this is where I'll be leaving this part of Deku Smash. Sorry if right now my voice sounds weird, I have a cold. I recorded like half this video one day and record the second half the next day. So, yeah. As I just have a cold right now. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, will also follow out you, and goodbye.